Good morning. You should have already looked at the agenda for the day. Today we're going to start off with what's the image, then we're going to get into our quizzes, which is our guided notes. You should have grabbed a note packet off of here. Then we're going to do a quick little drawing and a Venn diagram. So by the end of the day, you're going to say, I know how to identify a prokaryotic cell and a eukaryotic cell when given an image, and you'll be successful when you can describe the different characteristics of each of these cells. Now let's look at our image. So what are we looking at here? It is A-okay if you have no idea what this is, because we haven't learned about this yet. But let's just hear some ideas. What do you think it is? Yeah, these are both cells. And by the end of the day, you are going to be able to tell me which one's a prokaryotic cell and which one's a eukaryotic cell. So now we're going to get into our quizzes lesson so we can learn the difference. So you want to go ahead and open quizzes on your Chromebooks, and you want to type in this game code. I'll give everybody a second to join, and then we'll get started. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, we're going to start off with a throwback question. So just remember what we did yesterday. So our question is, the blank is the smallest structural and functional unit of a living thing. What do you think that could be? So just remember our vocabulary from yesterday. Very good. Everybody picked cell. That's awesome. Yes, the cell is the smallest structural and functional unit of a living thing. Great job. So now, if you don't take anything away from the lesson today, you need to take back that all cells, every single cell, has genetic material in the form of DNA. And DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. All right, we have another question. Both prokaryotes and eukaryotes have DNA. Is that true or false? Very good. You should have picked true. Remember, all cells have DNA, and prokaryotes and eukaryotes both are cells, so they have DNA. So now let's look at this image. We have a eukaryote cell and a prokaryote cell. Now let's see what they have in there and how are they different. Well, that eukaryote looks like it has a nucleus. The prokaryote does not have a nucleus. And you see this tail right here? Okay, only prokaryotes have those. That's the flagellum. That's how they move around. Let's see. Does anybody else notice any other differences? The prokaryotes have a cell membrane. Okay, eukaryotes do not. Let's learn some other differences. Okay, so remember, they both have DNA. Very important takeaway from today. The prokaryotes lack a nuclear membrane. The eukaryotes, they have that nucleus or nuclear membrane. So prokaryotic cells do not have what? Ooh, okay, so that's okay if you didn't get this right. Prokaryotic cells do not have membrane-bound organelles, which we'll get into that a little bit later, so that was kind of a tricky question. Both prokaryotes and eukaryotes have a nucleus. Is that true or false? Let's see if we got it. That is false. okay? They both do not have a nucleus. Which type of cell are we looking at here? Let's try to expand that image a little bit so we can see what we're looking at. Let's see. There we go. What kind of cell do we think that is? So remember, think about, do you see a nucleus present? That might be a good giveaway. Let's see. Okay. Let's see if we got it right. So we did not get that one right, but that's okay. So there was a nucleus present, so that should be a eukaryotic cell. There were also those membrane-bound organelles. I don't know if you saw the ribosomes and the mitochondria, all that good stuff. So that means it's a eukaryote. Which type of cell is this one? Let's see if we can make that image a little bigger. What kind of cell are we looking at here? So the thing you want to look out for, you see the flagellum. Okay, do you see a nucleus? I wonder which one it is. All right, let's see if we got it right. Very good, we got it right. That was a prokaryote. The good giveaway there was that flagellum. It helps them move. And was there a nucleus present? Nope, good giveaway. What is this a picture of? So think back to our dead giveaways. Do we see membrane-bound organelles? Very good, that's a eukaryote. There were those membrane-bound organelles there. Which type of cells has a chloroplast? Ooh, this might be a little tricky. Job. Okay, so now we're going to go back to our first page, our agenda, and then if you will go to the next one, and the next one. Okay, so now what we're going to do, if you should have a number on the guided notes that you were given. Look in the top right hand corner. If you have an even number, you are going to draw, let's see, even numbers, you're going to draw a eukaryotic cell, okay? You don't have to be Picasso to draw it. You just got to give me something. So remember those key features we're looking for. If you have an odd number, you're going to draw a prokaryotic cell, okay? Like I said, you don't have to be a super great artist, but just on the back of your notes, draw one of those cells, okay? Like I said, super quick. So let's say 3 minutes to draw this, okay? Don't have to be Picasso. Just kind of give me your best shot at drawing it. So let's take a couple minutes. Looking great. Couple more minutes. These are all looking really great. Anybody have any questions for me? And you are allowed to use your notes on this. Just think back about those characteristics. want you to do, if you had an odd number, I want you to pair up with someone who was an even number. If you were an even number, pair up with somebody who was an odd number, and I want you to discuss the differences in your two pictures, okay? Talk about the different characteristics of each one and how they're represented in your image. So we're gonna take a couple minutes to do this. I love this interaction. Y'all are really doing great. I'm hearing all those characteristics.
Teachers, pardon the interruption, but please take a moment and make sure your students know their bus route information. Thank you.
Were y'all able to discuss all the different characteristics? Your partner should have mentioned something about the nucleus, okay, and those membrane-bound organelles. And then your other partner should have mentioned the flagellum, okay, you should have had a tail in one of your drawings. Any questions with any of this? Y'all are doing so great. So now what we're gonna do, before we get there, we are actually going to draw a Venn diagram. Now, a Venn diagram remember, a Venn diagram is two circles that overlap. Does everybody see this over here? I'll draw it over here as well. Two circles that overlap, okay? On one side, I want you to tell me the characteristics of a prokaryotic cell. On the other side, I want you to tell me the characteristics of a eukaryotic cell. And in the middle here, I want you to tell me their similarities, okay? That's our basic Venn diagram. So you're gonna do that with the prokaryotic cells and the eukaryotic cells. Now, we just did a partnered activity. So for this, I want you to think on your individual brain, okay? You can't use your notes, can't use any partners. So just think about what we talked about today. Just think about all those characteristics, okay? Put them in your Venn diagram. Anybody have any questions for me? Looking good. Looking great. Some great things on your papers. Does anybody have the characteristic of having a flagellum on their paper? Oh, if not, you might should put that somewhere. Does anybody have any questions for me? No? All right, if you do, just let me know. give me a characteristic that they put in the middle. So what is something they have that is similar? Oh yeah, what did you put? That's right. They both have DNA. That is perfect. If you don't have that in your diagram, you want to get that in there. Are we getting pretty close to being finished? If not, take a couple more minutes. Take 2 more minutes. Can somebody tell me another similar feature that they have in the middle? Anybody? Remember, there's no wrong answers here. Yeah, what did you put in the middle? Oh, be careful. Remember, they both don't have a nucleus. Only one of them do. Okay? Not both of them. But thank you for sharing that with us. But it doesn't go there. Try somewhere else. Right, if you will put your names on your paper and go ahead and pass them up. Names on your paper and pass them up. And now, when you leave here today, okay, you know we learned about the prokaryotic and the eukaryotic cells and the difference in characteristics between them. But I want to challenge you to find a prokaryotic cell and a eukaryotic cell. Whenever you go home, like think about, what could be a prokaryotic cell? What could be a eukaryotic cell? So this might require you to do a little bit of research because today we just learned the characteristics. But tomorrow when we come in, I want you to be ready to share your examples, okay? And that'll lead us into our next little lesson. So come prepared to share your examples of a prokaryotic and a eukaryotic cell. And you know, we said one of them was a plant cell, right? So you might use that. Maybe you have a lot of plants at your house, so you might find that there. I'll tell you also, one of them is a bacteria, but you need to figure out which one that is. We're not going to tell you. So be prepared. Those are just 2 examples, though. Cells are everywhere, and we learned yesterday that cells make up everything. So chances are, there might be a prokaryotic or a eukaryotic cell on this desk. Maybe, who knows? Do some research and come back and tell me tomorrow. Any questions about today's lesson? How confident do you feel about prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells? Remember the I can statements from earlier? Can you do those things? If I showed you a picture right now, would you be able to tell me the difference in the prokaryotic and the eukaryotic cell? If not, you might want to look back over your notes. I'll post this link. And I'll also post a video describing the difference because I know we all learn differently, so that might help you out. So check Google Classroom if you didn't quite understand this. You guys have a great day.